Replay. We wrap up Game of Thrones week with 2 Mother of Dragons and 2 Queen Marchesas. Find out who is the true queen of the Iron Throne. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon at the link below. Welcome back everyone, Game of Thrones week continues. We've got some Sylvia and Khorvath, Mother of Dragons. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting game. Yeah, let's keep this hand. I like this hand. The Dragon's Horde will be really nice in this hand, since that'll give us some extra card draw. Do need to be careful with the Hour of Revelation, though. That will blow up key things. Make sure no one gets off to a crazy start. If they do, then Hour of Revelation may hurt us. So as I mentioned, we're playing Sylvia and Khorvath, Mother of Dragons. This is a Dragon Tribal deck. We will be facing off against 3 Patreon supporters today. First up is Chaotix2075 piloting Sylvia and Khorvath themselves. However, their deck will be an Unsullied deck. It is a Soldier Tribal deck. And then we have Let's Play Deathray piloting a Queen Marchesa, and Firemaker282 also piloting a Queen Marchesa, and they are going to go with a turn 1 Mana Crypt into a turn 1 Luminarch Ascension. That's pretty good. Means that we probably need to slow roll the Hour of Revelation and not just cough down all of our mana ramp early. So let's go for the Bloodstained Mire right here, crack the Bloodstained Mire, get Sacred Foundry tapped. We'll pass like that, and Luminarch Ascension will get a counter. Another counter on the Luminarch Ascension. 3 counters on the Luminarch Ascension. Opponent going to play an Enlightened Tutor on their upkeep. Let's see what they go find. Opponent going to get a Darksteel Ingot. Sad face, that won't get wiped away in an Hour of Revelation. But they will cast that. And yeah, opponent's got a lot of mana. There are currently 3 non-land permanents on the board. We need to get to 10 for Hour of Revelation to get the cost reduction mechanic. Although one issue that we are looking at as well is that we do not have a 3rd white source yet. So Luminarch Ascension, 4 counters. It is now active. Here comes a Timna the Weaver for the Queen Marchesa opponent. Mana Crypt will trigger for the 2nd Marchesa opponent. Here comes a Demonic Tutor, sure. Opponent gonna play a Machiko. Whenever the source an opponent controls deals damage to you, that player sacrifices a permanent. We do catch a land. I'm gonna lay down the Spine Rock Knoll right here. Get the Hideaway. Our choices between Boots and Chaos Warp. Chaos Warp seems pretty good. At the time when that all becomes active, Chaos Warp seems like it'll be a pretty good thing to have around. Usually something worth blowing up. And we'll pass like that. There's a Shared Triumph for the Sylvia and Khorvath opponent. So, interesting game in that we have 2 Sylvia and Khorvaths and 2 Queen Marchesas. Here comes another Machiko Kanda. Can't wait for this Hour of Revelation. It's going to be good. We do need to find another white source. I'm probably going to play Sylvia on our turn and path it if we need to. There are currently 7 non-land permanents in play, so now 8. Getting closer. And Queen Marchesa, that's 9. I think the Monarch token is 10. Ooh, opponent going to send the Queen Marchesa into the other Queen Marchesa. That's going to trigger the Machiko. Opponent sacrifices their Queen Marchesa. Weird. Well, that was a weird sequence from our opponent. There's a Sword of Feast and Famine. That one will be good. So play the Mountain, play Sylvia. Gonna shuffle our library one time, and we'll pass like that. We'll probably path our Sylvia on the end step as long as there are 10 non-land permanents in play. Ooh, opponent plays a Makokoro. Demonic Tutor for the Queen Marchesa. Sure. Opponent gonna send the Timna into the Queen Marchesa. Oh, that's interesting. Why is everyone attacking into Machikos? I don't understand. Well, they have the Monarch token. That's is that worth it, though? I mean, they could literally just cast their own commander, and... So, Queen Marchesa will take the Monarch token, but they also have to sacrifice a permanent. What do they get rid of? They get rid of their Timna. So, with the Machikos on board, the number of permanents dwindling each turn, which is kind of annoying. Queen Marchesa coming back to play, sure. So, opponent will become the Monarch once again. So, if the Monarch token counts, which I don't know if it does, there's exactly 10 permanents in play. We still need that 3rd white source, though. That's a Wear Tear. Okay, the Monarch token does not count. Now that's awkward because we have 8 cards in hand. So I guess we go Fuse the Wear Tear, hit the Mana Crypt and the Luminarch Ascension. We're going to miss our land drop this turn, which I absolutely hate doing. But hopefully opponent activates the Makokoro. Opponent going to create an Angel with the Luminarch Ascension before it goes. Sure. Gonna stay put with our Sylvia right here. We'll pass the turn. Opponent does not activate the Makokoro. Interesting. There's a Wrath of God. Alright, so with that being the case, I'm gonna path Sylvia right here. We want the mana. So, creatures getting wiped. That's good. Now I'm less convinced about the Hour of Revelation plan. I hate it when this happens, where you get an early Hour of Revelation and no one really plays a lot of stuff. Everyone's been like slow rolling this game pretty hard. Also, like opponents with the Machikos, both of them sacrificing permanents, reduce the permanent count. Weird stuff. There's a Smothering Tithe. That's going to need to get shot. Ugh. Now we slow roll the Hour of Revelation, because with the treasure tokens, that should all happen very, very quickly. Would like to make a land drop, though. We could just play a land this turn, and then Hour of Revelation next turn. Opponent pays for the Smothering Tithe. Plays a Zancha. That's actually a good one, because now we can draw some cards. Who do they give it to? They give it to the other Queen Marchesa. Monarch token triggers. That'll trigger the Smothering Tithe again. Opponent pays for it one more time. There's a Balefire Dragon. Ah, that's not the land we were looking for. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Not going to pay for it. We will draw right here. It's a land. All right. Play the Mountain. Excellent. Definitely wanted to make that land drop. Also means we can activate the Zancha one more time if we need to, which we will probably do during someone else's turn. Smothering Tithe trigger. Opponent's going to pay for it. Opponent going to play a Luxodon Gatekeeper. Ooh, yeah, that needs to get blown up. That is a scary, scary card. Someone played the blue enchantment version of that the other day, Frozen Ether, on me, and it was just miserable. We're going to draw with the Zancha right here. I'm trying to give opponent as much mana as I can so that they cough as many things out into this Hour of Revelation. We draw another land. Lands are good. We're going to swing into the Sylvia and Khorvath opponent. They take a hit for 5. So Queen Marchesa back to play. Opponent will become the Monarch. Comes into play tapped. Opponent going to play a Perforos. Sure. So that tells me probably a token deck out of that Queen Marchesa. That'd be the only reason I can think of you play Perforos. There's a Palace Jailer. So opponent will become the Monarch. They can exile a creature. I'd go for the Gatekeeper, probably. Yeah, they're going to go for the Gatekeeper. That's a good call. Monarch token will trigger. Opponent pays for the Smothering Tithe. It's going to bring it back to our turn. That's a Mana Vault. Mana Vault will be helpful. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Not going to pay. I actually am a little disappointed about what opponents played last turn. Doesn't really feel good enough for the Hour of Revelation plan yet. But on the other hand, we also have 9 cards in hand, so that's not the best either. I really want to go for like the knockout blow on the Hour of Rev. But I guess we can play the Mana Vault right here, since that's that's more or less a one-time use card anyway. So we'll just get that in, and then we'll look to draw a bunch with Zancha before the end step, and really try to get opponent to cough out a bunch of stuff. Opponent continues to pay for the Smothering Tithe. Chester's going to get a Snake token. We will draw one time. Meant to do this during opponent's turn, but accidentally F6'd. So we draw a card with Zancha. It is a Plains. Make that next land drop. Give them some more mana. So a token comes in for our opponent, and Perforos will deal 2 damage to each player. Opponent going to play a Grave Pact. Sure. Be glad to get rid of that one. Opponent going to swing into us with Zancha. Sure. And send their Queen Marchesa into the Queen Marchesa opponent. Ooh, opponent's going to settle the wreckage. That will slow down our Hour of Rev plans. We'll draw with Zancha before that goes away. It's a Blasphemous Act. Not going to pay for the Smothering Tithe. So opponent's attack gets stopped. No additional follow-up for the Queen Marchesa with a lot of mana. I mean, I'm pretty sure they could have at least recast their commander. Ugh. Opponents. Gotta overcommit. Need you to overcommit. There's a Blazing Archon for our opponent. There's something finally worth hitting with this Hour of Revelation. Okay, so we've got our plan for our turn. Man, I've been trying to slow roll that thing, and just opponents not biting, not coughing all their stuff out. Opponent gonna send the Palace Jailer into us. Yep. Hope there's still 10 permanents in play. Looks like 12 by my count. Yeah, okay. We should be good. Another Smothering Tithe trigger off of the Monarch trigger. And that's going to bring it back to our turn. We draw into a Battlefield Forge. More lands are good. Keep hitting those land drops. Smothering Tithe will trigger. Play the Plains. Tap the Mana Vault. Play the Hour of Revelation. Someone says they need to take away my removal. Been sitting on that since turn 1. Oh, man. So, Hour of Revelation blows up all the non-land permanents. Great Pack will trigger one time. No creatures left in play. Go for the Dragon's Horde. I'm going to go for... is there anything to get with Hellkite Tyrant? Not really. It's a single Darksteel Ingot. Yeah, I guess we still... Maybe we go for Bale... Yeah, let's go for Balefire Dragon. No, Balefire Dragon will just eat removal. Let's go for the... Let's go for the Horde Smelter Dragon, is what I'm thinking right here. We'll try to bait the removal out with this one first. Dragon's Horde will get a counter on it, so we can draw a card next turn if we like. Interesting little bit. With this Darksteel Ingot being indestructible, we could theoretically activate this as many times as we have mana and make this huge. And if we give it double strike with Sylvia, we could have someone out of the game pretty quickly. Opponent's going to activate their Makokoro, and each player will get to draw a card. We draw into a Myriad Landscape. Very nice. There's a Core Firewalker. Sure. And a Hearthfire Goblin. Yep, opponent doing the soldier thing. So they too were also waiting for the board wipe to resolve before really doing anything. Yeah, I can understand why. Almost feels like they knew that I had the Hour of Evolution. There's a Moga's God of the Slaughter coming in. Yep. Queen Marchesa coming back to play. Perforos will trigger. And opponent will become the Monarch. We go down to 32. Opponent said they're stream sniping me when I have no stream. Yep. Opponent going to send the Marchesa into the Sylvia and Khorvath opponent. Ooh, the Luxodon Gatekeeper is back, by the way, so that's going to slow down the explosiveness of opponents. Also ours, too. We do have haste creatures. Haste creatures really bad when they come in tapped. Yeah, opponent said he's seen me play enough Boros to pick up on tendencies when I don't play very much over a few turns. Tend to have the board wipe. What? I would never do that. Opponent's figuring out the Palace Jailer trigger with the Monarch aging and the Gatekeeper coming back. There's a stolen strategy for our opponents. That's a pretty good one. Here's a Toxic Deluge X5, so we're not going to get to do that thing that we talked about. Makes me sad. Brings it back to our turn. Mogus will trigger. Can't do much about that. Gonna have to pay the life. There's a Scourge of Valkis. Oh, boy. Huh. Well, we could have 10 total mana. What does that do for us? 10 could be something like Scourge. We could get Scourge and Sylvia. That's not bad. That will draw removal if opponents have it, though. We could cast Sylvia and steal the Monarch token. We could go, or we could cast Khorvath and steal the Monarch token. Is not a terrible idea. And then get down the Worn Power Stone and the Myriad Landscape. I think I'd like that. Let's do that. So let's play Khorvath. Khorvath is in. Dragon's Horde will get a counter on it. Maybe we'll draw with it first. No need to partner right here. I forget if this thing can have multiple counters on it. I think it can. Let's find out for science. 2 counters. Excellent. And then I do want to draw with that thing, so we won't be able to necessarily... we'll need to play the untapped land right here. Yeah. Actually, you know what, though? Maybe it's worth shooting Chaos Warp on the Stolen strategy. Or in one of these things. Perforos has the ability to be like really explosive if opponent catches a big token card. Actually, we won't have the damage to use the Spine Rock Knoll. Okay, so let's play the Battlefield Forge, get the Worn Power Stone, swing into the opponent with the Monarch token. Did they not have the Monarch token? They didn't have the Monarch token. Whoops. I mean, it's showing over there. I thought they had it. Oh well. We go to the end step. Mogus will trigger on the Sylvia and Khorvath opponent. Opponent's going to activate the Makokoro. We draw a land tax. Probably a little bit too late for that one. Here comes a Rise of the Hobgoblins. Sweet. Opponent's going to play an Elesh Norn. That gets rid of all the tokens. Makes our Khorvath very small. Sad face. Can still do some damage, though, if we put the sword on it next turn. Does mean that Sylvia cannot exist with the Elesh Norn in play. So, Mogus trigger and Stolen Strategy will trigger for the second Queen Marchesa opponent. Land, Sunscorched Region, Rise of the Dark Realms. We'll probably be seeing that rise. Fortunately, we have a Blasphemous Act. Opponent's gonna murder on the Elesh Norn. Oh, yep, need to get rid of that first. They're gonna lose the Rise of the Dark Realms. I don't think they have the mana. Unless they have like a Dark Ritual or something. Yeah, a lot of the things in the graveyard die to, there's still a Blazing Archon. I mean, yeah, a lot of the creatures in the graveyard would have died to Elesh Norn, but still, you get a dragon, a Blazing Archon. I would have played it. One's going to play the Sunscorched Regent. Sure. Probably a good candidate for the Chaos Warp. We'll draw with the Dragon's Horde. Bring it back to our turn. Mogus will trigger. Not going to sacrifice. We draw a Strip Mine. Don't think there's, nothing terribly worth strip mining. There is a Rogue's Passage in play. That could become relevant. Let's play the Sword of Feast and Famine. Sunscorched Regent will trigger. Equip the Sword of Feast and Famine. Oh, Swords of Plowshares on our Khorvath. Sad face. Yeah, I think down that goes. So I guess then, let's get Scourge of Valkis, I think? Nah, maybe not. Yeah, Balefire Dragon. Let's just go for it. We'll play an untapped land right here. Get the Balefire. Sunscorched Regent will trigger. Dragon's Horde will get a counter. We will pass the turn. Mogus trigger. We'll draw one time. Swiftfoot boots. Those would have been helpful to see. Kind of wish we drew. Would have set up the Balefire Dragon in a way to get the boots on and, yeah, probably go with one of the other dragons first to, eat the removal. There's a Scalelord Reckoner. That's a good one. Here's a Conjurer's Closet. Interesting. There's a Damnation, so that's going to get rid. Yep. Wish we saved the Balefire Dragon. But that does get rid of the Sunscorched Regent. That card would become a problem for us over the course of a few turns. Queen Marchesa coming back to play. Purphoros will trigger. Opponent will become the monarch. Opponent going to send the Marchesa into the other Marchesa. And they will get the monarch token. Opponent hits our Austere Command. Ooh. Well, Austere Command, Grave Titan, and Catapult Master. We have some very good artifacts in play. Would not be surprised to see that. Yep, there's Austere Command hitting artifacts and creatures. So Queen Marchesa down, and all of our glorious mana rocks are down. Plus our Sword of Feast and Famine. That's a big one. That one hurts to lose. Opponents are drawing like crazy with these monarch tokens. We got to wrestle the monarch tokens away from them, and I think just get them out of this game ASAP. Opponent's at 11. If we go how much mana do we have now? We have level 11 mana. Yeah, that's not enough to haste the Hellkite Tyrant and get double strike. Makes me sad. That's an Ancient Tomb. That helps. That might help. 11, 12. Actually, there's going to be a Mogus trigger on opponent. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So I think we go Scourge of Valkus. Shoot opponent for 1. Puts them to 10. Ah, no, we're still going to be short. Crap. Did I really miscount that? So let's play the Ancient Tomb. Yeah, I guess we get Scalelord Reckoner. We'll just sit on the boots, I guess. Maybe we play the boots. Scourge of Valkus will trigger. We'll send this one at the other Marchesa opponent. Put them down to 30. I'm going to go no boots right here. Try to conserve the life a little bit with Ancient Tomb at 25. There's a Purphoros and a Mogus out. One's going to play their Khorvath. Sure. If they play Sylvia, they could put a big hit on the second Marchesa opponent if they wanted. Yep, they're going to do that. Let's see where they want to point it. No attacks. Ooh. Soul Ring for our opponent. Fleshbag Marauder. Gross. Do you know what we want more? We want Scalelord. Purphoros will trigger. I think I'm going to get rid of the Scourge. I love Scourge, but Scalelord seems good. Yeah, maybe we should have stayed with Scourge. I don't know. There's an Iroas. Ooh, opponent just taps out and passes? Huh. They pass with so much mana. Opponent gets a land from us. The Stolen Strategy, Gilded Lotus. Stolen Strategy triggers. Opponent gets Captain of the Watch, Gilded Lotus, and Rugged Prairie. Opponent's down to 6 off of the Mogus triggers. They will die to a Gentle Breeze rolling through the battlefield. Gilded Lotus into play. Signet into play. Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs into play. Let's bring it back to our turn. Mogus will trigger on us. We draw more lands. Let's go for I want to get the Hellkite Tyrant. Let's get Hellkite Tyrant. Get the boots. Equip the boots. We are one short of recasting Sylvia. Makes me sad. I guess we need to be careful. So, alright. Send the Hellkite Tyrant into the Queen Marchesa. Steal the Mana Rocks. Kazul will trigger. Oh, the Mana Rocks go away when opponent dies. That makes me sad. So, well, now no one can have them. And I guess right here, what do we do? Play the Myriad Landscape. Yes. Play the land tax just to get it out of our hand. Yeah, maybe we should have played the boots last turn. Mogus will trigger. So we are set up to hit pretty hard with our dragons when it comes back to our turn. Just gotta hope no board wipes or that opponent doesn't have some really big explosive play. If they turned on all of their gods, that would be a problem for us. They would need 4 additional devotion to red to turn on all of their gods. It could be a thing. Marchesa would get them 2 of each color. Martial's Anthem. What's opponent bringing back? Yeah, a bunch of good things. They get back. Luxodon Gatekeeper. That'll shut down some explosiveness. Core Firewalker and Sunscorched Regent. Life gain pretty good at this moment in the time. Everyone's been bleeding life all game to Purphoros and Mogus. Kaya's Wrath. Destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures destroyed this way. Down all the creatures go. So, I guess opponent is a little too quick to the Martial's Anthem. Or at least sitting in the wrong turn order, because they probably still play that even with just our dragons in play. So I guess now we're back on... Now we just need to get our commanders down. Opponent's still at 30. Ugh. Queen Marchesa, back to play. Yep, we're down to 17. It's starting to hurt. Into us for 3. Yep. Could use a big draw off the top. I feel like it's going to be a land, though. Mogus and land tax on us. Just go ahead and grab... We do get a land tax trigger, so let's grab all the lands. And we draw a land per turn because that's always what happens when you get 3 lands with land tax on Magic Online. Always going to find a 4th land. Yep, and it's a basic. It's like our library didn't shuffle at all. Play a Plains. Play Khorvath. Partner trigger. We'll shuffle because we just land taxed and things went poorly. Play Sylvia. This actually isn't a great idea. Theoretically, the Sylvia and Khorvath opponent might be able to kill us. Yeah, equip the boots. They do not have vigilance, sadly. We'll send in Khorvath, leave back Sylvia. Don't want to die to anything. Oh, that'll get us the monarch token. That's something. So we get to draw at the end step. It's an Utvara Hellkite. That's a good one. Tajik, Legion's Edge. Yep. Ooh, Odric Lunarch Marshal. That's going to give everything haste. That's scary. Each player is going to draw. There's an Urza's Incubator. A little bit late on that. Need to see a lot more dragons for that to really matter. Don't know if we will. See if opponent wants to wrestle the monarch token away from us. They might, being that they're at 1 card. Or if they just want to go after Queen Marchesa, who's got many, many cards in hand. They're going to split it up. Okay. Okay. So, nope, changing their mind. Opponent just going to send the Odric over to the Queen Marchesa. Sure. So, opponent goes down to 20. I hope they're at a removal. Opponent gets a token, puts us... Perforos triggers, puts us down to 8. It's pretty scary. If a god gets turned on, we're in bad spot. Thran Dynamo. Thran Dynamo's okay. Erebos, God of the Dead, life gain off the table. Opponent's still at 20. I mean, yep, they're going to draw with the Erebos. Looking for answers. Get a Vampiric Tutor. That can find an answer. This is bad. This is all very bad. Mogus is active. Opponent draws more cards. Opponent has to be careful, though. Like, even if they kill us, the other Sylvia and Khorvath opponent could just come into them. That's a Grey Merchant. That's probably going to end the game. Yep, we're out of the game. Ugh. Oh my god, we're at 1. Well, we won't survive 2 of the creatures. Opponent goes down to 9. Yep, Queen Marchesa just drawing cards all game. Opponent miss attack. Oh, Menace. Of course, they have Menace. Yep. Yeah, that's game. Less Chaotic says like a Swords and can turn off one of these creatures or something. Down we go to the Queen Marchesa. Yeah, they drew like a million cards. They had a Swords in hand, Blasphemous Act. Yep. So one of the problems I've noticed with this deck is like tempo issues, and that probably has to do with the fact that there's a lot of 6-drops in the deck. When you start losing creatures, it does get easy to just get blown out tempo-wise. I have noticed that to be an issue. I think that means I need more haste in the deck, honestly. Like something like a Fervor somewhere along the line would have been really, really helpful. So that's something I'll probably need to add. A little more protection might not be the worst idea either. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching.